What's going on, people, and welcome back to the channel. So I thought I'd quickly do my semi-final predictions for the European Championships and the Copa America, which are taking place this week, and who I think will get to the final in Germany and in the USA, respectively. So I'll start with the Euros. Spain versus France. Spain have been the most impressive team so far. They won their group comprehensively. Then they defeated Georgia in the last 16. They then defeated Germany. That was a really good game with Germany. Spain were really good in that game. They showed a lot of determination to get through. They've been impressive so far in this tournament. They're the favourites, in my opinion, in this game. Play against France, who have not been convincing in this tournament. Didn't win their group, finished second. They struggled against Austria. They won that game 1-0 courtesy of an own goal. They then drew with the Netherlands, which they could have easily lost. And then they drew with Poland as well. That was not convincing at all. Really wasn't from France. Then they played against Belgium. That was a really poor performance against Belgium. I didn't think France were good in that game at all. I really didn't. That was really, really poor from France. I thought that was a really poor performance. Then they played Portugal, and that wasn't a great performance either. They won on penalties. Was not convinced. Yes, they got quality players. Yes, they probably got better players than Spain. Mbappe has not been at it at this tournament. Yes, he broke his nose against the Dutch, but I just don't think he's been at it. I think Spain are going to beat France. I think Spain have looked better in this tournament. I think that Spain are up and coming. They got a good manager as well. He's got them a good blend of football. It's not that tiki-taka style we're used to from Spanish teams of the past. I think France will be tired from their game with Portugal. And I think that Spain will cause an upset and defeat the former world champions and go through to the Euros final, which takes place on Sunday. The second semi-final, England against the Netherlands. We'll start with England. England not been impressive in this tournament. They got through their group, beat Serbia 1-0 in their first game. You know, wasn't a convincing performance, but they won. Really, then two really poor performances against both Denmark and Slovakia. Slovenia. Really was poor from England in both those games. Southgate not making changes, not freshening it up. Really is a poor manager, Southgate. He really is safe. He just doesn't want to try anything new. He doesn't want to attack. It's really frustrating. Then they played Slovakia. They were lucky in that game, England. They were really poor in that match. Bellingham had to pull them out. And then obviously we got the goal in extra time to win it, you know, when it was on the brink of going to penalties. We then played Switzerland, and again, that was a rotten performance by England. It really was poor. Switzerland were winning that game, and then England came back and won it on penalties. You know, it was a really poor performance by England. Southgate once again got out of jail. England need to get this right because we've got a great chance of winning this tournament. You know, I don't think Holland are as good as people think they are. You know, they struggled in this tournament. I'll get on to Holland in a second. But yeah, Southgate's the problem for England. You know, is he going to drop Kane? Probably not. You know, Kane will probably start. I think Harry Kane's been shocking in this tournament. I think Ivan Toney deserves a chance. I think Kane should be dropped. I think Bellingham shouldn't play. Foden. You could argue Bellingham shouldn't play, but he is going to. Foden shouldn't start, you know, in my opinion. Foden has been in this tournament. I think he's been really poor. He's not playing in the right position. It just doesn't work, him on the left-hand side. I think that Cole Palmer should come in, but I don't think Southgate's going to do that. But Palmer, every time he's played, he's been impressive. Saka's not going to be dropped, so you need to bring Palmer in, and it needs to be Foden. He needs to drop out, but that's just not going to happen. But yeah, England need to get this right. You know, will they get it right? We'll have to wait and see. They play against a Dutch side who, in my opinion, have underachieved in this tournament. They finished third in their group. They beat Poland. That was unconvincing. That was in the last minute. Weghorst needed to pull them out of a hole. Then they played against France. That was probably their best game in the tournament, behind the Romania game, which I'll go on to in a second. They should have beat France. They were unlucky not to win that game. But then they got beat by an Austrian team who just were a better team than them on the day. That was a really good performance by Austria. And Holland finished third. They then played against Romania. They beat Romania 3-0. That was a really convincing performance by Holland. That was probably their best performance of the tournament. And then in the last game, they played Turkey, and they came back. They showed a lot of determination in that game against Turkey, and they won that game 2-1. They were 1-0 down to Turkey, but they did come back to beat them 2-1. I think Holland have got weaknesses. Yes, their defence is decent, but I think that in midfield we can get at them. I think that we've got better players in midfield, in my opinion, than Holland do. I think England will beat Holland. I think that Southgate will escape again, and it'll be England-Spain final on Sunday in Berlin. I'll get on to who I think. I'll get on to the prediction for the final when close to the time, but I think it'll be England versus Spain in the final. I think that they'll both win their games. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. And then the Copa America, Argentina, Canada. Argentina convincing throughout this tournament. You know, won their group easy. You know, they won a penalty shootout against Ecuador, beat Ecuador on penalties. That was really convincing as well. You know, they've just been solid. They're the world champions for a reason, reigning Copa America champions. Playing against Canada, who have overachieved in this tournament. I had them not even coming out of the group, and they did manage to get through their group. They beat Venezuela on penalties. They done really well, Canada, in that game. They could have easily won it in normal time. They were really good in that game against Venezuela. But I think it will be Argentina. I think Argentina, you've got to go for Argentina. I think Canada have played against weaker opponents so far, even though they have done well. And arguably, you could say that Venezuela would beat them, and Chile and Peru are better teams than Canada. They've got better players, but Canada somehow got ahead of both of those top sides. But I'm going to go for Argentina. He's got so much quality. Messi is probably his final tournament. McAllister, Enzo Fernandez of Chelsea. You know, Martinez has been lighting this tournament up for the AC Milan, Inter Milan striker, should I say. Yeah, Argentina will win. I think Argentina are a very good side. They're the best side in the world, in my opinion, at the moment. So, yeah, I think they'll go through to the final. And then in the other game, which I think is a better semi-final, Uruguay against Colombia. Uruguay, again, won their group easy with the USA. They won that game pretty comprehensively. You know, beat the US comprehensively. They won the other two group games as well. You know, Uruguay, they won 5-0 in one game. Was that against Panama? I'm not sure who it was against, but yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, they've looked good in this tournament. Then they played Brazil. You know, they beat Brazil on penalties, deservedly so. They should have won that in normal time. Uruguay, in my opinion, they were the better team. I did say they beat Brazil, and they did. I wasn't convinced by Brazil in this tournament. And yeah, Uruguay, solid at the back. You know, Martinez, the guy who plays Liverpool, Darwin Nunez, has been solid in this tournament, scored a few goals. They're a very, very good side, Uruguay. Valverde, again, another good player, Real Madrid, very good team. Play against Colombia, who again, have been the team of the tournament, in my opinion. They've been absolutely superb, so impressive. Every game they played, they looked dangerous and convincing. They won Brazil's group. They were very convincing in that. They deserved it. You know, they were by far the best team in that group. Could have beat Brazil in that game. They won their two other group games as well, comprehensively. They then played against Panama, who they destroyed 5-0 in the last round. You know, they had it done at half-time. They were absolutely superb in that game. I think this will be a tight game. I think these two teams are level on quality. Obviously, they play each other quite regularly in Copa South American qualifying. I think it'll go to extra time, but I'm gonna go for, it's a tight one, but I think it may go to penalties as well, and I think that Uruguay will win. I think Uruguay will beat Colombia. Colombia are a good side, don't get me wrong, but I just got a funny feeling it'll be Uruguay versus Argentina in the final. And yeah, I think Colombia will give it their all, but I think Uruguay will get through. Uruguay have just been there, they've done it, they've been to finals of World Cups, you know, semi-finals for Copa Americas. They're so good at Copa America, Uruguay, and I think they will beat Colombia and play Argentina in the final of the Copa America. So yeah, those are my thoughts and opinions on the semi-finals coming up. Give me your thoughts and opinions down below. Take care. I'll be back on Wednesday with a reaction to England's match with the Netherlands in Germany, and I'll give you my thoughts on that when it happens. Take care. Peace.